On this episode of Rollin' to Win True Athletes, we speak to IFBB pro Nick Hewitt, Great Britain's only IFBB pro wheelchair competitor. You won't want to miss it. Hi Nick, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you? 2 seconds. Try and get a bit of a better light so I look prettier.
Yeah.
You all good?
Oh yeah, no doubt. So across the pond over there in the UK.
It is. What time is it when
only
you are?
IFBB. It's let's see, it's 1 o'clock here, 1 o'clock ish, like right at it.
Afternoon.
Yeah. So I'm right on the East Coast.
Yeah, 6 o'clock here.
Right.
In the evening. Tired.
Yeah, long day.
They're all long, aren't they? Yeah, just to be honest, today's a rest day, so it's just like get up. Food's a little lower, although I have just had a free meal, so eat what I want.
Okay,
meal.
That's awesome. Yeah. My kid's bugging the hell out of me. He's like, "So when are we having a cheat meal, Dad?" And I'm like, "I don't know. It just depends. Don't need one right now."
Yeah, no. I get 2 a week, and I normally have it on a Wednesday, but I didn't train today, so I'll have it the day before I'm training.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
Ideally, you utilize that what you've eaten the night before, but yeah. So how's things anyway? All good?
Oh yeah, for sure. So how many days do you train a week now?
I do 5 days, so we do a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, off Wednesday, normally train on a Thursday, and a Friday, and then off Saturday.
Okay. Now is that hitting a different muscle group every day, or how do you do it?
Yeah, so what do? I do back working like thickness, so a lot of rows on Sunday, and then Monday we do what do we do? Let me tell you. It's a new plan, because I'm now with a new coach. Let's have a look. Can't even find it now. Right, yeah, so there we go. Right, so yeah, we do back, and then delts with a little top upper chest at the end, and then arms.
Okay.
And then back, and then chest with a little bit of delts top up. A couple of rest days in between, and that's it. So yeah, my camera looks awful, doesn't it?
I mean, it's not going to matter at the end of the day because it's on the Zoom, so it's going to be kind of low quality, low res.
Yours looks well good. Over there in your HD. Mine looks awful.
Yeah. Just the time, by the time I get it off the cloud, it's going to be, I think it's like, I don't know, 430 or 480, whatever it is. It's a standard def thing, but this is sort of like the easiest option to go with to get a recorded conversation right now.
Yeah, that's how we done all ours on the wheelchair bodybuilding podcast. We normally do it on. We haven't done one for ages. In fact, we haven't done one since before the Olympia.
Yeah. So you guys didn't do one after the Arnold. I guess Tyler wasn't there, and Tyler kind of helped run that, or what?
Well, yeah, it's Tyler's. It is Tyler's podcast, but it's all recorded off of my laptop.
Oh, gotcha.
So if I don't know why, but I don't even pay for Zoom, so we always only get 45 minutes for free or half an hour for free or whatever.
Right,
and I'm too tight to spend £100 a year to get the longer period. So we've always just done it for that.
Right on. Yeah, I can dig it. So like, so how did you end up in the wheelchair division to begin?
So I fell down a cliff.
Jeez. Okay.
Long story short, it wasn't like super high. It was only about between 15 and 20 feet. And I mean, weirdly, it was one of them moments. Obviously, I was in hospital and spent time in there, but it was one of those moments where when I left, I was fine. I wasn't fine, but I could stand and I could walk. And it was over time that a period of time. Like I got medically discharged from the army, and it was partly my fault. Probably 100% my fault, with the old mentality of I'm good. Like, let me go. I'm fine. Like,
Sure, right.
we're all right. And it was one of those, like, I could stand, I could walk. Always had pain. Always had like a lot of pain.
Okay.
I couldn't do my job properly, obviously. Like I couldn't carry anything. And then over the space of like 7 years, a lot just went wrong.
Okay.
Like I would, so this happened like 2011, and it was a case of like I'd get up or I'd move and I'd be like, oh, and then I couldn't move, and then would get I know like how the whole hospital situations in the US and the UK are very, very different. Like we have the NHS, so I know you guys all pay insurance, whereas the NHS is, over the years, it's great, it's brilliant, great service. But over the years, it has failed a lot. Like I'm currently waiting for an operation. It's been cancelled 3 times over the space of 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but we put our life on hold.
What's this operation going to do?
So this is for a nerve issue that I've got at the moment. So basically, they cut into my back, take the muscles off my spine, cut a bit of my spine off, take the nerves out of the sack and leave them hanging. But because it's a nerve issue, they say with your nerves, if you don't get it sorted quickly, it doesn't matter about the operation. You can have the operation done, but it might not change the pain.
Okay, wow.
So I'm at the point now where they've made another appointment, or I've got a new surgeon, and he's looking at me on the 9th of May. But I'm just like, look, it's been 2 years. What's the point? Like,
yeah, right.
We had the first cancellation due to doctor strikes. Fair enough. There's no help in that. Second operation, they never actually told me why it was cancelled. And we went through probably 3-4 weeks without hearing anything. And then I had to go for blood tests, and then they all got sent off, and then everything was fine. And then the third one got made. The third appointment got made. And then, so the second one, they cancelled the night before, like 10 hours before I was supposed to be at hospital. I was fuming.
Oh, wow.
And the second one, I found out the Friday before the Arnold's. So I'm sitting there waiting to go on the stage on the Saturday. And then the Arnold's, we're in our hotel room, and I got an email, and I was like, what? And it said, oh, we've got a new surgeon. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, my appointment is Friday, like next week. Because I was meant to do the Arnold's, and then the following Friday, I was meant to have my operation.
Wow.
And then I spent like that time. I was just stressed I didn't need. I was just like, oh, whatever. I'll sort it out Monday. I emailed them straight away and said, oh, it's meant to be booked for next Friday. And they're like, no. I'm like, yeah, 100% it is. I've had my pre-op. I've had the consultation. I've had everything. It's booked for next Friday.
Right.
And then on a Monday, I phoned them. I was like, what's going on? And they're like, we don't know. So on the Tuesday, I phoned them. I spoke to other spinal secretaries, because my spinal secretary was useless. Don't know how she had a job there. And yeah, this other spinal secretary was brilliant. She gave me more information in that 5-minute phone call than I've had off my surgeon secretary in 2 years. And she said, yeah, you're not even booked in. I was like, shocking. So I've got a big complaint going on with our hospital. Wow. But yeah, they've got a new surgeon now to have a look. But to be honest, I might just bin the whole operation off, because to me, if it's not going to help anything, what's the point? If they turn around and say, well, yeah, look, you got a 50-50 chance of the pain not being there, 6 months off but it's 6 months off the gym, I just think, well, I won't bother. What's 50-50?
Sure. So, you're already dealing with it now, the way it is, just,
Yeah, like, I mean, I live in pain anyway, and I'm used to it. Do you know what I mean? Sure. Like, you're just used to it. Your
normal might be somebody else's pain level 7, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, going back to like the wheelchair, like, I used to get up and then I wouldn't be able to move.
Sure.
And then I'd be bedbound for a while, and then went to the hospitals, and over here, they're always, no one wants to help you. They're always like, oh, self-referred to physio
Mhm.
before they do any tests. And we went through probably a good 7 years, probably a good 6 years of that before we really started pushing, because I was stuck in bed, unable to move for like a good 6-7 weeks at a time. And I'm
Oh
like,
wow.
guys, someone needs to look at this. I can't move. And it always, the period of time that I couldn't move extended every time.
Mhm.
Like first it would be like a week and I'd be like, oh, I actually can't move anything. And then it would go like a week and a half and then 2 weeks. And obviously I've got work and, you know, things like I was having a lot of time off.
Right.
And in the end, we got to the point where I was walking on crutches, but I'd get like 5 meters and then everything would seize up and I couldn't move again. And they done scans and were like, oh yeah, you've got spine damage to your L5S1 and compression on your spinal cord. So that explains everything.
So you've been walking around with a broken back for all that time.
Exactly. And they were like,
Wow.
yeah, like, can you live, like, we won't operate because it's been so long. We don't want to disturb. And I'm like, they said, we don't want to make it worse. And I said, how can you make it worse?
Right. Right.
And they're basically saying, like, they don't want to put me under, mess around with everything on my spine when
Yeah.
they know I'm in a wheelchair anyway. So
Okay.
I went
Now, when did you get the wheelchair? Like when in
4
that
years ago.
period?
Yeah, about
Okay.
4 years ago. So it was a
Did you
long,
have a
long
hard time
period.
with that, or?
Here more than anything.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
was. I'll tell you why. Probably for me because I went from having an accident to walking with pain to
Right.
not being able to really walk to getting a couple of meters on crutches to then being full time in a wheelchair, and it's like, okay. Whereas normally you have this big accident and that's it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
for me,
That is your life changing day, right?
exactly. So my life changed, but it changed over such a long period of time.
Wow.
That I think that was the hardest part because I think when you've been in the army, you have this army mentality of, look, I'm fine, I'm good. Like, you'll hurt yourself. I'm good. Yeah, I'm fine. I'll crack
Right.
on. And I think that's what I always just had, is like, I'll deal with it. And I remember to this day, like my first outing in a wheelchair, for the hospital or the NHS, they got me a wheelchair through wheelchair services and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
yeah, I remember the first outing, and it was a weird one. It was a bit emotional in the sense of, okay, I'm in a wheelchair. That's you know, that's not the big issue. The emotion side of it come from, my God, we've just been able to go on a roll or a walk with my family down the whole beachfront, and I haven't been able to do that for years. So
Okay.
for
Right.
me, it was almost a relief. Like, to this day, I still don't, like, there's still places I won't go. Like, I won't, like, I mean, I'm old now anyway, but I wouldn't go out clubbing. Like, I've got mates
Right.
that are in wheelchairs and they go out clubbing, and I'm just like, that's not me. It's definitely
Yeah.
not for
Yeah. I
me.
get that. Yeah.
But yeah, you know, like,
That's a different lifestyle, really.
yeah, yeah, I think that's probably what it is. Maybe it is, I'm just old.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think for me, life changed when I got that. It was definitely, it was hard mentally because I think for years before that, I just had so much pain and everything just hurt constantly, and I couldn't move for periods of time. And then all of a sudden, that was just resolved. Like, obviously, I
Right.
still get the pain, but it was just like, actually, this is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I think that was a hard thing, was when I said, look, you're going to be in a wheelchair. It's as simple as that. And I was
Sure.
like, okay. And I was like, really? Like, am I? And I think it was hard, that transition.
Mhm.
But when I got it, and then when I finally got a decent wheelchair, because they give you like a trolley to start with,
Right.
like, and you know it's a bad one when you roll and you stop and you roll and you stop and you're just like, oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. All the squeaks, and it moves every time
Oh,
you.
yeah.
It
And you go
flexes
down
with
like a
every push.
cambered road and you go with it.
Yeah.
But
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
so when I got a decent one, I was like, oh, okay, well, this is a lot easier.
Sure.
And yeah, you know, for me now, like, just like we haven't changed too much about our life. I mean, we plan a lot more because you have to.
Right.
Like when you plan holidays and stuff, you have to
Sure.
make sure everything's accessible.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
I mean, I still live in a house. I don't live in a one level.
Okay.
And partly of that is like, we bought a house 8, 9 years ago, and it's my kid's home. I don't want to change that. So we
Sure.
had like occupational health come round. They're like, right, we'll put this in, we'll put this in, and I'm like, nah, we won't. I'll have the stuff that I really need, but I won't
Right.
have stuff that's gonna make like I don't want my kids' mates coming around and being like, oh, what's that? What's that? Do you know what I mean?
Sure. Right.
They
I
already
guess
know
so.
I'm in
Yeah.
a chair. They don't need to be
Yeah.
seeing that
It,
my house is completely adapted to someone
yeah.
like that. So, you know,
I've got grandkids. They ask questions all the time, man. So I'm
that's
just
what,
like,
and it's innocent
whatever.
because
Yeah.
it's kids, and I
Oh
don't
yeah.
mind
Yeah.
that. It's
Sure.
when adults go, "Oh, what happened to you?" And it's like, well, obviously something.
Right. Right.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just
A lot of times
completely,
that becomes the first conversation
isn't
before
it?
how do you do?
Yeah,
It's
always.
it's what happened to you opposed to how do you do.
Yeah,
So
and I just
yeah.
sit there and I think, would you just ask someone that at the blue, someone you don't know, someone you never
Right.
met? Would
So
you just
so
go,
maybe an obese person, right? Would you walk to an obese person and go, so how'd this happen?
exactly?
Yeah.
Exactly that. So for me, it was always like I don't like that question. Someone asked it to me the other day, or randomly on Facebook in a group that I'm in.
Mhm.
Can I ask you how you're in a wheelchair? It's like, well, I mean, you just did,
Sure.
and
Right.
I just ignored the question because I just think like if you cared, you'd look through my page and it'd tell you everything you needed to know.
Right. For sure.
Um, and I just think I just thought it's a weird question from someone I've never
You don't
met.
have to give
Someone,
your energy away to people that easily either. You know,
yeah,
people are like, "Give me your energy," because to me that's what that is. That's a request. You're requesting me to take time out of my day to give you something that you
yeah.
want just for the pure need of wanting it, whatever.
I think.
So
I mean, it
yeah,
happened
you
to
don't have to
me.
acknowledge that though.
Yeah, we went to Mexico last year, and I was just where was I mean, it was just up by the big, massive reception hall or the
Mhm.
bar, if you like.
Right.
No, I was just outside, just having a fag, and this lady came over to me, and that you could see where they were sitting. They were sitting near where we were sitting. She come over and she's like, "Oh, what happened to you?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"I've never seen you before in my life."
Right.
And I think I was more shocked than anything. I just told her, and then she went back, and I heard her telling everyone she was with, and I was
Yeah.
like, "What a weird thing to do!" Like
Yeah.
so
It is
strange.
peculiar.
Yeah,
It is.
not hello. We'd never seen them before. That was the
Right.
first thing they said, and I was just like, "Did that just happen?" More to the point, why did I even entertain it?
Yeah.
But
Oh
yeah,
man.
you know, it's a weird one. But yeah, so been in the chair for what 4.5 years now.
Mhm. Gotcha.
Um,
And then when did you find out, hey, I'm going to get into wheelchair bodybuilding, or when did you say about it, or what have you?
to be fair, like I was always into bodybuilding, love bodybuilding,
Okay.
and I competed in 2013 and 14, and I was done with it. I fell out of love with it. I ripped my
Mhm.
bicep off as well, and I was just always
Right.
like, "Oh." Do you know when you just fall out of love with something and you just think, "No, I'm done." Like
Sure.
I was going to
Sure.
the gym for the sake of going to the gym. Like I wasn't enjoying it. I weren't eating properly, and I saw a lot of Gabe stuff, and I was like, "Okay, this
Okay.
could work."
Yeah.
I
Yep.
spoke to Gabe a few times, spoke to Brad a few times, spoke to Tori a few times, and I just started speaking to him, and I was a bit like, I mean, they're doing it. Why can't I do it? And
Sure. Right.
I still never wanted to compete. So this is the
Yeah.
fun part. But I wanted the category over here. because we didn't have it over here.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
I spoke to two bros. They just threw it out. They said, "No, not interested." I was like,
Right.
right. So two bros are our promoters in the UK for the
Right.
IFBB.
It's like two bros, and I forget, but I keep up with it the best I can. What's
Yeah,
happening
so
over there?
I spoke to them and they just weren't interested. Spoke to Nick Scott.
Mhm.
He obviously liked the idea,
Sure.
but
Right.
said to me, it's not up to him. It's down to two bros whether they want it. And then two bros said to me it was down to, can't think of his name, the IFBB's international director. Can't remember his
Mhm.
name. And I was like, right, okay. So I spoke to all these people.
Right.
Basically, I spent a year and a bit slagging off two bros all over social media. So they should hate me, really. Um, and then Ian just said, look, we'll do it. Fine, we'll do it. Get ready.
Right.
We'll do it September 22, the Arnolds. And I was like, oh, I'm not competing. And he was like, what? I was like, yeah, it's not for me. It's for people in my position that want to be able to compete. And we've got the wheelchair division worldwide. Why it should be here. It should be in the UK.
Right.
And he said, if you ain't doing it, we ain't doing it. And
Okay.
I was like, okay, I better speak to my wife then. And yeah, competed in it. It paid off. We won. Done the pro show the day after as well.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. And for me, it was a kickstart again to actually like, I love this. And I stopped because I just
Right.
didn't think it was possible.
Sure. Right.
Like I
Yeah.
just maybe I
Sometimes you have to put those, like, there's a lot of dreams we have when we're younger that we have to put away when we get older, just on account of
yeah, and I
you
think
kind of outgrow it or what have you, and
yeah, and I think
perhaps
obviously the
that's
chair was a bit like it's definitely impossible now. And
right.
it weren't until I spoke to these other guys that I was like, my God, these are doing it, but I don't have that opportunity over here to be able to do it.
Sure.
And then we got that opportunity, and luckily enough, I was in a position where I was good enough to win the amateur show and go on and do the pro show. So, it was phenomenal experience, absolutely amazing. I mean, me and my wife, we woke up on the Monday morning, just looked at each other in a hotel room and cried because we was just like, what just happened?
That's
Like,
awesome.
it was a massively huge roller coaster of a weekend. But I mean, what's massive and huge about it as well is like at this Arnold's, like the support was unreal. Like we didn't have the support at the last one. We did it at the amateur show
Mhm.
because everyone went there, and it was my
Right.
job to get everyone on board when they wouldn't entertain it until we got a lot of people that was wanting
Right.
to do it. But on the day, I think we only had 7 turn up, and there was meant to be 14
Okay.
just for an
Oh,
amateur show. So that was
wow. That would have been an amazing turnout. Amazing.
I probably wouldn't have won, so I'm glad. But it would have been great. And then they carried it on to True Athlete last year, and they had a great turnout for that. They had a great turnout for the pro show as well. And not only have we made it so it's in the UK, but we've made it like so it's easy for Europe to access as well.
Right. Right. Yep.
That won last year at True, the amateur show was from Italy.
Mhm.
So it's like actually you don't, and I know he's competed 3 times prior at Toronto, I believe.
Yeah.
So now it's like
Eugenio
you don't have to travel to
Moliano or
Canada.
something like that.
Yeah, you can now come here on a 2-hour flight. You haven't got a 6-7 hour flight now.
Right.
So yeah, I mean we've opened doors massively, and I mean these aren't sitting here for this, so please don't think they are. But the turnout for the pro show last year for True was quite big as well. I don't know if you can see that.
Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm.
They're only
Yeah,
sitting
that
there
was
because
a big one. This year's turnout wasn't so hot,
so
but last year's
no,
was good.
well, so it's not True Athlete anymore. It's now the European Championship, still held in London. I don't know who's down for it as yet. It's in September.
Well, I was
I
talking
know
about
Nick.
the UK, but the Arnold UK, not too many people showed up there.
Oh, so no, we had there was me, Gabe, a Nudge should have been there, but his father passed away
Yeah.
the week before, and Oscar should have been there, but Oscar's injured. I believe Oscar is doing the September show.
Okay. Well, that'd be
Um,
good.
but again, I mean, my prep for the Arnolds this year was awful. 7 weeks, I had serious stomach issues, or for a good 7-8 weeks.
Right.
My stomach was spasming. I was in hospital. I had the ambulance out. I stopped breathing. Like
Is
not for
that the
long.
reason that you do a vegan diet because you have stomach trouble?
No, to be honest, I mean, vegan wise is purely because I love animals more than I want to eat them.
Okay, gotcha.
And I also really love proving people wrong when they say you can't build muscle on it. That's the
Right,
sequel I am.
right, no
Um,
doubt.
so yeah, I mean, yeah, like we had a lot of issues going through this prep. But at the same time, I'm fully aware that there's points where we get a lot more issues than just a normal athlete would. So
Right.
I didn't know the other guys were putting out. I think I found out about a week and a half before that it was
Right,
only me and Gabe. And by that
gotcha.
stage, I'd been ill and in hospital, in and out of hospital and the doctors for 5 weeks, 6 weeks. So I was like, all right, well, it's a week and a half. Let's just carry on. Like, I never had
Right.
any intention of putting out because I had to pull out the true show because of my operation.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
And to be fair, I was in a lot of pain, like a lot of pain. There was just a point I couldn't get comfortable, even like in the chair. It doesn't matter, like extra cushions, extra padding. It just
Just
there
letting
was
have it.
never a position that I was just
What kind of
comfortable.
pain do you go through?
So it's always like, to be honest, the worst time it ever kicked up. We come back from Mexico.
Okay.
It was weird because on the way there, the flight on the way there was great, like no issues at all. And then when we was at the hotel by the pool, and I don't know if it was because you're just happier, you're warm,
Maybe.
you're in a pool, you've got everything around you that just screams holiday, and I'm relaxed. But on the way back, like sat in that position, and obviously we get on the plane first, so you're waiting there a little bit longer anyway. Then we're stuck on the runway for about an hour because like just torrential downpour. So what was like a 9-hour flight, 12, I don't know what Mexico is, 11-hour flight, something like that, then turned into like a few more hours on top of that. And then when I woke up in the morning after going to bed here, my whole body had just shifted over. So it was like my hips are over here and my body's over here, and I'm just like,
Oh
I'm in
man.
a bad way. um, so
Do you
yeah, I
not have any
mean,
kind of hardware supporting your spine where it's broken? Okay,
no,
gotcha.
nothing. They won't, because they've always said where they left it for so long, they
Yeah,
won't
yeah.
operate. They refuse to go in case they cause more damage now
It
than.
seems like if they stabilize you, it might would help out a ton.
Oh my god, I know. Yeah. I mean, if they turn around and said, look, it's entirely up to you if you want us to operate, we
Sure.
will. And then I'll say, yeah, crack on, because you're not. What are you going to change?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, worst case, I die and I don't wake up. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's.
Right. Right. Yeah.
But what's going to change about my life if they say, "Oh, sorry,
Sure.
it went wrong. You're in a wheelchair"? I'll be like, "Okay, so nothing's changed." Do
Right.
you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, what's physically going to change in my life if they?
Yeah.
I have a long recovery period, but
6 months, you said?
yeah, so
Yeah.
but that's for a totally different operation. That's for
Oh,
my
okay.
nerve issues, because I get a lot of nerve issues.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But that's part and parcel of wheelchair life as well. I
Yeah.
feel I spoke to a lot of people who have a lot of nerve issues. And from day one, they were always like, "There's no guarantee we'll stop it, but we can make it
Right.
more comfortable, and this is the operation you need." Okay, fine. We'll take that. But yeah, as I say, cancelled 3 times. So
Yeah. Yeah.
what can you
I
do?
can dig it. So I want to go back to the Arnold. There was a lot of amateur athletes that came out to support the pros there. A lot of amateur wheelchair
Yes. So that's what I was
bodybuilders.
going to get to. So we basically had the whole British lineup of all the amateur guys and girls as well.
Right. Yeah, there was a lot of ladies too in comparison.
Yeah. So, and it was, it's phenomenal to see because we started that. We only know each other through getting the wheelchair show, through me
Right.
and Paul and people like that randomly just messaging people. And it was probably the hardest messages that you ever have to send anybody, because I think the messages started along the lines of, I'm messaging you because you're in a wheelchair.
Right.
And as I'm sending them, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I hate people saying stuff like that to me. So why am I doing it to other people?
Right.
But what I was hoping is they can see that I'm in a wheelchair and they'd relate.
Right.
So I reckon that message went to hundreds of people. Hundreds
That's
of people.
awesome.
And to be honest, most of the people that we sent the message to, we all talk. We're
Mhm.
all friends. There's no one took offense to it. Don't get
Right.
me wrong. I think if I was able-bodied and sent that message, I think it'd be a very different outcome.
Perhaps. Yeah. Perhaps.
But the way I looked at it was, well, actually, look, they'll look at my page. They'll probably think, who is this idiot?
Right.
And then they look at my page and think, okay. But I just explained in there that what we're trying to do is bring the wheelchair division over here, but we've got to get numbers before they'll even look at us. Would you be interested in competing in a bodybuilding show? And it was a really good response, and like we got a lot of people involved in it, and it's still to the point now where we've got a healthy wheelchair category in the UK.
Right.
Like they continue to show. Ian walked backstage to me after the first amateur show. He owns Two Bros, and he said to me that was the best show I've ever seen. And he said, "You done it." He goes, "I hold my hands up. I was wrong. That was the best bodybuilding show I've ever seen." And like Ian has every right in the world to hate me because I was horrible. I did slag him off because I wanted it so bad. And in my mind, I was like, I'm just going to make noise until I get it.
Right.
And now I look back and I think, okay, could I have gone a different way? The first time I ever met him, the first thing I done was apologise. So I met him for the first time at the Arnold's, and we spoke, but we hadn't met face to face. And I met up with Nick Scott, and then Ian walked out, and I just said, I just apologise for the way I went about it. And he was like, it's fine, don't worry.
Yeah.
But we got the show. So for me, I don't like the way I went about it.
Sure, but it worked.
Exactly. If you're quiet, the way I look at things, if you're quiet about things, it's going to take a lot longer because you're not there and no one's going to see. And I do not
very similar to that.
Like in the organizations off online, don't do it.
Oh yeah.
But, I mean, it worked, and there we go. So
that's right. That's right. Now, P.T. Barnum had a belief, like, to be the loudest, even the craziest looking, and it works. It draws the attention that it needs, and there you have it. Now we have like a wheelchair class there in the UK. That's awesome, man. So who are the up and comers that we need to be following?
I think from the UK, if he can get himself leaner, just a touch leaner, Mehdi, I think he will be a very good bodybuilder. He come fourth, fifth out of 22, I think, and he comes, I want to say third. In 23. Lovely guy.
So is the amateur show? That's the true athletes one. That's that's when they do the amateur.
Yeah, so it'll be. I don't know if Arnold's are going to do an amateur in the UK. Okay. They didn't this year. It'd be lovely, it'd be great if they did. But I also think because we've already got an amateur show, they don't need to.
Okay, yeah, I was just wondering. So Mehdi, I think I follow him.
Yeah, Mehdi Marari, I believe his surname is. So yeah, he'll do great. And then you've got
Like Paul
never.
Walmsley does the PCA quite a bit. Is he
So
going to do
Paul
the?
is, speaking of Paul, Paul is yeah, he likes the PCA. I'm not a fan of the PCA.
Okay.
Great organization. So I don't want to sound like I don't like them in general. I don't like the mixed disability. I
Right.
don't
Yeah.
see
Yeah. I'm not
any
a big fan
need.
of that either.
No, for me, you cannot. I love mixed disability. Take the wheelchair
Sure.
category out and have its own category,
Yeah.
because for me, you can't like you. And I always say this to Paul: you cannot sit next to someone like John Nixon, who competes, is disabled, he's got CMT, and he stands.
Mhm.
So, you know, he's getting every body part judged.
Right.
And then you've got Paul, who can only be judged from the waist up. And
Right.
then
Yeah.
you just
Mhm.
think, well, how do you ever win that? Because
Sure.
these guys have got whole different muscle groups that I haven't got.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for me, I don't like mixed disability with wheelchair in it. And it wasn't, and to
Sure.
be fair, PCA, they used to make wheelchair athletes go on stage in shorts.
Oh gosh.
And
Yeah.
yeah, Paul broke that for him. Paul went on in black trousers, and now they all do. So for
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
again, I just like that was part and parcel of their rules. If you're in a wheelchair, you're going on shorts. It's like, no, you're not. Like, you know, I
Yeah.
mean,
No.
there's not many of
That's
us that
almost.
really wear
Yeah.
shorts.
Yeah.
Like, I wear
That's
shorts
almost
on
shaming.
holiday, and I wear
Sure.
shorts very, very occasionally in summer in the
Right.
gym.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I don't like it, and that's only been this year. It's the first time I've done it this year, and
Yeah.
mainly because I watch Brad, who doesn't care, and I just think,
Right.
oh,
Yeah.
Brad, I love you. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and that's mainly why, because I just thought, do you know what? Like, people don't care,
Sure.
and they probably do. They probably say stuff, but as long as I ain't hearing it, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, people look, and they go, "Damn, look at them legs. Wonder what's wrong with them," you know.
Yeah,
And then you have the ones that are audacious, and they'll come up and ask you straight up, just not hello, but hey, what's wrong with
yeah.
you?
That's what I mean. It is mad. It is crazy. But yeah, you know, it's one of those things. We've got I think that's it really for over here. I believe like FitX may do a disability category.
Okay.
But they're smaller federations. You know, you got Two Bros, you got NABA, and you got PCA over here. NABA don't do a disability category.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, and obviously Two Bros only do a wheelchair category.
Right. So, are you going to make the pro show this is it September? Is that when it
To be fair, no.
is?
But okay, so I've got reasons. So Nick messaged me the other day, and I said, so at the Arnold's, he said you'll probably qualify for Olympia off of that second place.
Right. Yeah.
And at the time, I was all excited about it, like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll use the prize money as well, and we'll go. But then so I qualified for Olympia in 22 as well, and I didn't go either. And it's not
Yeah.
that I don't
Okay.
want to go; I want to
Sure.
go to Olympia.
Right.
Like, that's a dream and that's a goal, but I want to go as a pro show winner.
Right. Right.
I don't
Yeah.
want to go
As a
as
point spiller.
yeah. So, and people always ask me,
Either way, you make the stage, though. But you know,
yeah,
I
but
get
yeah,
it.
but then
I get
now,
it.
for me now, I look at it and I think, right, I can diet again. I can spend
Mhm.
£6,000 to get over there
Right. Yeah.
in hotels and not get a look in, but I would have been an Olympian.
Hmm.
So that's what you've got to weigh up. Is it worth paying £6,000 just to say
Sure.
I done it?
That you're an Olympian. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Or do I? And I had this conversation with my coach. So it wasn't until we had a conversation with the coach. You know, my wife was very much, well, just keep an open mind. If you want to do it, we'll do it. If you don't want to do it, see what the coach says and we'll go from there. So
Nice.
I had a chat with him as well. And his other half is an IFBB pro, and she's done the Olympia through a pro show win, which obviously she has to anyway now. She's women's physique.
Yeah.
So he just turned around and said, what's your plan? And I said, well, my thought is this. What do you think? And he said, yeah, I completely agree with you. You need to grow.
Mhm.
If you go on points, you'll never really get looked at like someone who can win.
Right. Because you
You
hadn't won
know,
yet.
I haven't won. No, I've only won an amateur show, and
No,
I've
no,
done
no.
four.
I just mean in general, like you're not going to get the look because you're the guy that hadn't won. You're the guy that's there.
Exactly that. Exactly. And the
You
way I
get
look
to
at it
show
is,
up.
I can't beat Gabe.
Right.
Gabe didn't beat Gorilla. Gorilla
Yep.
lost to Kevin. So,
Yep.
you know, even without all the other guys, I'm still fourth.
Right.
Do you know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's without Harold, without Corral, without Brad,
Sure.
without Tori, without all of them. That's mentioning
Right.
3 people, and I'm the bottom of that list.
Right. Yeah.
So,
I get it now. Yeah. Like, see, like my coach wanted me to hold off too. Um, I guess we can put on a lot of size or what have you. Because it really, I'd like to come in, win the national, and then I'd like to compete in the Arnold. And damn it, I'd like to win that. Like
that's
just
the thing. We do it because we want to win, right?
yeah, that's right. I'm not up. I mean, competing's fine, but winning's better. It's kind of like fishing. Fishing's great, but catching's better.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, you're just sitting there.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's like, yeah, I mean, there's guys I'm desperate to compete against, and not because I want to compete against them, but because I like them as people. Like,
Sure.
like Brad, love Brad. I've competed
Oh
against
yeah.
Corral. I've
Hmm.
competed against Gabe twice now. And I love Gabe. He's one of the main reasons I got into wheelchair bodybuilding in the first place.
Right.
And I told him that this time after stage. You see the picture of where he broke down.
Sure. Yeah.
And I didn't know that picture was being taken. It wasn't until like a couple of days after I was like, oh, who took that?
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
a powerful picture.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
just beat me. And he's crying, and I'm really happy for him.
Right.
Not that he's crying, but I'm over the moon that he's just qualified for Olympia again.
Yeah. Nice.
But this is me, and this is me all over. It's like I'm happy for other people all the time.
Right.
I put other people's happiness or other people's success, if you like, way before my own. Like
Right.
True Athlete last year, Paul was competing, Ben was competing. I mean, Ben, he's natural. I'm not going to even attempt to say a second name because it's an Italian second name.
Okay.
So if you ever look at the True Athlete last year, he done that, and he come. Where'd he come? 4th, I believe.
Okay.
Or 3rd, one of the two. Young lad from London, he's only 21, and the condition on him all the time. He sent us a video the other day, shredded to the bone, and I just think, I mean, he is an absolute machine. He's bodybuilder, basketball, very high level, and CrossFit. Oh, excuse me,
Wow.
but he doesn't stop. He just carries on and carries on. He's absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, he sent us a video the other day, and you're just like, how are you that lean? Like, and he eats crap all the time. Like,
Oh, that's crazy.
so again, he was there at the Arnold's. He come this time. Paul come. Rachel come. Rachel also done the interviews after. Mehdi come. Liam come. There's a gentleman, and I feel so bad that I want to say Jason, but his name's not Jason. I know it's not. But he won, or he done PTA as well, coached by Chris Dim. And if he watches this, I'm so sorry I forgot his name. Marsden, Ian Marsden. That's it.
Okay.
Arms on him are ridiculous. I'd like to see him come and do the wheelchair category at the European Championships. I think he'll do well. He comes in great condition, massive arms. So I'd like to see him do something.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed is like the guys with the big arms are doing the best right now. Of course, Rashish John, like it was literally like his waist ratio compared to Gabriel's waist ratio, I think won that. That's what Tyler Manion said. So
yeah, I mean, to be fair, you look at I mean, that was an upset. That was a shock to everybody, I think.
Yeah.
And even if you look at pictures of them all just lined up, you think, how's he won that? And then watch a video of him pose. The second he poses, everything comes to life. Everything pops out, and you're just like, that's how he won it. And he does look great. And he has got great arms.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like Corral, he's got great arms. Harold's got great arms. Gorilla's got great arms.
Right.
You know, everyone with great arms is doing something, and a good back. Obviously, that's where Gorilla lost the Brazil show, is from the back.
Yep.
Kevin beat him from the back.
Yeah, you could really see that one too. There was no contest.
I actually spoke to Kevin after I congratulated him. Really nice guy, really humble. So, and you know, the division is growing. And Nick, and I know Nick will say to me when I say I'm not going to Olympia to him again. I know he will say to me, "You might not make it," and if that's the case, and I never do.
Sure.
And he is right. I know I might not, but I just think it's a lot of money to go over.
It's kind of, I mean, bodybuilding ain't cheap, that's for sure. But at the same time, you know, it's a slow sport. It's exactly not quick. No. It's not quick. Like, you know, you can compete 3 times a year, but really, you're in prep all year. You know, so you're just maintaining and hopefully not losing the muscle that you have if you're competing that often. So
I think it's a very different or a very rare breed that will compete and grow and grow and grow. Not many people can do it. You know,
it's not healthy, and sometimes the like PED usage that you may have to use to get there would be just so unhealthy.
Yeah, exactly that. And you know, that's not realistically something you want to be staying on all year. No. You know, and not many people probably do. I don't know. Some people probably do. But yeah, you know, and
you Superman out here that nothing hurts them.
Oh, I know. I'd be in hospital all the time if that was me. I'm there enough anyway.
Right.
But then you also have the other end of the spectrum. Like for me, I am a one man show. I like to do one show.
One show a year, man.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah. Like,
gotcha.
I've always been like that. Like, I hate prep.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely hate it. I love everything about it, how you change.
Sure, right.
But I hate this part. I hate being hungry. You know, like, I hate cardio. I hate a hand bike. I hate a ski erg. I hate just going for a roll. I hate it. Like,
gotcha.
And I don't think people understand, like, when we prep, it's very different to how somebody else would prep able body. You go in, you've got every cardio machine in the world you can go on.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Brilliant. I've got a ski erg at my gym. We used to have a hand bike at my gym and I haven't got it anymore. And to be honest, I'm glad they haven't got it anymore because it was a lazy way of cardio. I always, and I don't mean that disrespectfully, I know you hand bike. But my old gym used to have a hand bike and it was locked away in a room. So I was in a room on my own and I hated it. I was like, why am I not out there? Like, put me on the gym floor with the other stuff. And then I started using the ski erg. And for me, the ski erg was better. I hate it. It's horrible. It's disgusting. But in the sense of burning more calories, that's what I preferred. Just to be able to go in, attack it harder. Because I always found on a hand bike, and you've got a hand bike, haven't you?
Yeah, I just have one that's like a little portable hand bike. I throw it up on the kitchen table and go to town every morning. The gym has a hand bike too, but I always have to fight the old women over it because they're the ones always sitting on it.
So when you have been on the commercial one, every time I've ever gone to pick up my drink, I've got a handle to my face. Do you know what I mean? It's a dangerous bit of kit. If I look at my phone, bang, the handle's spinning around. You just don't think about it.
Yeah.
Whereas on your table, I've seen you do it on your table, so it's in front of you a bit more. Do you know what I mean? Like,
It has a
Runs in
little
a
less
gym.
range of motion, but you know, it works.
Yes,
It works.
exactly. Yeah, and I don't like a ski erg. I really hate a ski erg, but it works. I'll tell you what I did do in the gym this time around as well. Um, go to rowers, the concept
Mhm.
rowing machines. I just took the seat in it, like the big sliding seat off that, and just went
Mhm.
up close and just rode with that. That was quite all right. It was just a nice change. Or I used a watt bike, but the other way around. So obviously you can't get on the seat, so I'm facing the wheel and just using the handles like that. And
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, so that looks fun,
And
but that's very tiring as well. And it was always after, like I do a fasted cardio, but that was always like them ones, the quick hard blasts were always after my training. I'm just knackered. Just want to go home. But yeah, so I'm not a fan of prep. I'd much prefer off season.
right, yeah. Me too. Off season is like your strength gains in the off season, all that stuff. Being able to map
Yeah,
it out,
hugely. I mean, I
which
had 2 weeks off after the Arnold's. Um, ate what I wanted, and then went back to the gym 2 weeks, and I felt good.
mhm.
It's the best I felt, and even now, still, is the best I feel training for a long, long time. Like strength's coming up, and we're not on high calories at the moment. We're still on a post show phase. You
Mhm.
know, we're just on a cruise of everything else as well.
Yeah.
So,
Same here.
so yeah, I'm looking forward to. I mean, my weight's steadily going up. I weighed myself this morning. So check-in was this morning, and I was 201.3 pounds, which I think is quite
Wow.
heavy. You know, half a person is pretty heavy.
Now, how tall are
Um,
you?
I would be 6 foot bang on.
Okay, wow. And then
But I
yeah,
mean, Brad
because
is what's Brad? Brad's 6'4", 6'5", isn't he?
6'5", and I
Yeah,
think he said
Tory's
he's
six.
213 right now.
Brad is.
Yeah, Brad. Yeah,
He's still quite lean as well. He's got good arms as well.
yeah. I'm only let's see, once I was 172 this morning, so it's pretty
To
decent
look at
size
you,
for
I think
me.
you look bigger than that.
Yeah, I mean, I was walking around at 240 before I lost my legs, you know.
That's a good weight, isn't it? See, I was
Yeah,
always a very slender, upright person. I've always been skinny. I was just always a skinny lad. Growing up, I
yeah,
was skinny. In the army, I was skinny. You have to be skinny in the army. They want you to be skinny in the army. I want you to be
right,
skinny but
right.
strong. But they look at it as if you're skinny, you're a smaller target, and you're like, that's a good point. I'll take that.
Right.
So yeah, it wasn't until after the army, really. Like in the army, I always thought I was massive, and I wasn't. I was probably about 12 stone wet, dripping wet as
Right.
well. Um, but yeah, what I don't even know what I
I
am at the
like
moment.
that. Now, what is how many pounds is a stone? Because I hear British people say that like 20 stone. I picked it up, you know.
Okay, so I'm going to Google it because I mean I can't be wrong. How many pounds in a stone? I want to say 14. Yeah, 14 pounds in a stone.
Okay, gotcha. Right.
Okay, so and then a kilo. It's 2.2 pounds per kilo, isn't it?
Right.
So yeah,
So
I think what am I? I'm just about 91 ish, 92. Let's
yeah,
have a
okay,
look.
kilo. Gotcha.
Kilos.
Stone just sounds cooler.
Yeah, it does. Sounds lighter though, doesn't it? When you say
Right.
200, you're like, oh, I'm over
Yeah,
200.
yeah. And
So what was
then
I?
like I noticed there's another phrase, you know, it comes to money. Like you have the pound and you have the quid, and it's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So
But that's like,
I
you
just
got the
think
dollar and the
quid
buck,
sounds
right?
cooler. Can't believe it cost me 7 quid, you know, like whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So money's a funny one as well, isn't it? Like I always
Yeah,
think to myself, if I've got a pound, it's no different to having a dollar. Regardless, I know
right,
there's a value wise, it's different.
right. I
I'm
think
going to
it's like a
spend it
buck
regardless, so
32.
it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah. Because a pound's worth more. So, but I dig that, you know, like the whole quid and stone. You guys have got the coolest language.
Yeah, see, my son, he speaks very American. So is it pure English, accent wise?
Oh
Like he
wow.
watches a lot of like TikTok and stuff like that. Like even
Okay.
today, what did he say today? We were talking about the dog, and he went, "Oh look, that dog hasn't got a leash on," and I was like, "You are English. Like it is a lead."
Right. Oh, that's funny. Dog doesn't have a
And
lead. It's not a leash. That's great.
yeah, and he's like,
That's
he would
fantastic.
sometimes go, "Oh, I'll put it in the trash," and I'm like, "The bin." And he's like, "Yeah, that's what I meant." It's like we've never said trash, so he only gets it from online, but a lot of people do over it.
Yeah, that's
Like
funny. That's wild.
they watch
Um, a lot of American TV, a lot of American trash,
loads, yeah, because it's
rubbish.
good. Isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Like around here, I kind of pick at my kid. I homeschool him and stuff, and I'm like, so you're the official refuse manager now. You know, like so he manages the refuse, which I guess would be to carry the rubbish out to the bin.
Yeah, he's got to, isn't he? Get his chores done.
That's right. That's right. That's good stuff. So what do you do? Like, what do you do to make a buck over there?
So I work for a company that deals with repairs to vehicles, basically. But I
Okay.
work on the estimating side. So I work from home. This is my office we are in now. That is my view
Mhm.
up
Okay.
there, which is a
Gotcha.
nice little
That's
motivation every
right.
day.
That's it.
So these photos were up there, but I moved the new Arnold's medal up there. So I had to make
Right.
space, hence the photos, because the Arnold's medal was right next to my laptop.
Gotcha.
Yes, basically, I run a team that just deals with between garages and insurance companies. So I
Okay.
take the estimates, send them to my VDAs, which is a vehicle damage assessor. They'll estimate
Okay.
it, send it to the insurance company. I'll then chase the insurance company, get it back, give it to the garage. So it's basically an estimating company. We're like a
Okay.
middleman that deals with that. So, and then I
You
coach as
just do it
well.
with pictures or whatever. They take pictures and
Yeah,
send
so
you.
I mean, the insurance company we'll all do it online on a big platform that every insurance company would have,
Okay.
and then they'll look at it, and if they're not happy with something, they'll send an engineer out to actually inspect the vehicle and say yes, it needs it, no, it doesn't,
Mhm.
and that's it really. So yeah, it's pretty simple. It's a very repetitive, easy job, but as I say, I can't do a lot else. Um,
Right. Right.
my background is very manual, if you
Yeah.
like.
Me
I've
too.
come from the
A
army
lot. A lot
working
of
with,
work below the neck.
yes, I've come from a world of an infantry soldier and an
Mhm.
overhead linesman,
Yep.
and
Oh shit. That's what you
weirdly,
did too. Me too.
yeah,
That's what I
weirdly you
did.
can't. Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. But I for the phone company and the cable company.
Oh, okay, so I done the railway, all the 27,000 volts railway wire.
Oh wow.
Um,
Wow.
but you can't weirdly do that in a wheelchair. So,
Yep. Yep. That's it.
but yeah,
That's it. Have to figure out ways from the neck up.
yeah. So that was probably one of the hardest things as well. Is am I making money? Like
Yep.
I used to make a lot of money, and I'm not
Hmm.
making as much now. But I get paid very well for what I do, and I also online coach as well. And I enjoy that just as much. And that was something.
Yeah.
I've been around the fitness industry for 22 years.
Hmm.
Um, and I just never thought about it. I never thought about coaching or anything like that. Just wasn't
Sure.
something I really fancied doing.
Hmm.
Um, until my wife was like, "Why don't you do it?" And I was like, "Why don't I do it? I
Right.
can. I've got so much experience in it." Um, so yeah, I do that as well, and I enjoy that,
Nice.
and it just brings in a bit of extra pocket money.
Right. I thought that might be all you were doing because I know that there's a lot of guys that are just killing it in the online coaching game.
Yeah, I mean, over
So
here
if somebody
it's
wanted coaching from you, like, how would they get it?
just come
Go
to me on
about?
Instagram. Literally,
Okay.
come talk to me on Instagram, and we'll have a chat.
Right on.
And I do have a set price, but it's negotiable because I'm not a dick.
Right.
So, I mean, I
Gotcha.
understand that some
And
people
what's your
can't afford
Instagram
that.
handle?
It's IFBB Pro _Nick _Hewitt.
Okay.
So it's the
Got it.
same on Facebook as well, and TikTok on all of them. And I don't like TikTok, but I've got it.
Right,
um,
right. I think I had it for a minute, but that's just too many platforms to try to keep up
oh, I
with, to be
know.
honest.
Do you know what? I genuinely believe if I didn't do coaching, I probably wouldn't have any social media. I don't
Mm,
like
right.
it. I find myself
Yeah.
scrolling for no reason at all. Me and my
Yep.
wife will go to bed. We'll be watching TV or something, and then we'll go to bed,
Mhm.
and then we'll sit there and scroll, and we'll sit there and just show each other like a video or
Memes.
something stupid, and then I'll just send her loads. I'll be like, look, babe," and
Right.
we sit there for half an hour. Like, what are we doing? We come to bed half an hour ago.
Yeah.
But it's an endless world of nothing, isn't it?
It is. It is. And honestly, I never got on social media until I was injured, and then like looking for, how do you drive a car? How do you just any of this stuff? And right there in the beginning, like at first, I kind of wanted to build wheelchairs. I was like, it'd be really cool to
Okay.
get into the wheelchair building business, and I never chased that dream at all. So then I thought, well, at minimum, I'm living a decent life now. I could definitely show somebody how to do transfers and stuff, just so that there's something out there,
Yeah,
for the new wheelchair user to go, wow, okay, maybe I could do that, and then that's how this program came to be. Here was like, there's so many different avenues for wheelchair athletes out there. Like, let's get them on, let's talk to them, and let's see if we can get some inspiration in the community. So,
I
and,
love
and that's
that.
where we're at here.
I'm all for that, and you're right. I don't think there is enough about for it, and you can scroll through everything, and you'll come across some bits. Um,
Sure.
but yeah, I love that. I love that, and you don't see enough of it, to be honest.
Right. Right. So the more the
Yes.
merrier. I feel like it's not one of those things that there's enough of, like you said. So, um,
Yeah.
now, this is sort of the last question that I always ask. It's, what do you have to say to the guy that just got injured and is within his first little bit of recovery, guy or gal, or non-binary nowadays, since we have that. So,
I'll just bear with it because it gets easier.
mhm,
And soon you will learn to love your life, probably more than you ever did.
mhm,
I do, which is a weird thing to say because I had a extremely full life, and I can't do half the stuff that I used to, but I appreciate life a lot more. And you will, I think, you know, challenge yourself every day as well. Normally 9 times out of 10, if you're now in a wheelchair after an accident, it was a severe accident. Um, so just people will annoy you. They will. And they will ask you stupid questions. And if you don't want to answer them, it's all right not to. Tell them, I don't want to answer that. You have not got any reason to tell certain people certain things you don't want to tell them. But you will, I promise you, you will learn to love everything about your life. And don't give
Okay.
up because there is a full life ahead of you. I mean, I love my life. And it probably took me quite a while to say that after the whole 10 years of going through, or 11, 12 years now of going through everything.
Mhm.
I certainly didn't love my life at the beginning when I was in so much pain and unable to move for a long time. And I certainly found it very difficult going into a chair. But 4 years down the line, there's nothing I would change about my life. Apart from shelves at shopping, I would bring them down a little bit so I can reach
Right, right.
everything.
Or to
But
have a
it's,
grabber at the door for you to
yeah, yeah.
get.
But yeah, challenge yourself every day. If you've got the opportunity to go and do something, go and do it. Don't hold yourself back thinking, what I always say to myself now is, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah, right, right.
Because nothing else can really affect this.
Yeah. In the beginning, I was scared. I was scared that the bathroom wouldn't be open. Like
Yeah,
that was like my biggest fear. Like, well, I can't go there. What if I can't get in the bathroom?
yeah.
You know,
I've
and that was just what I was psyching myself out with, not realizing.
yeah, yeah. We overthink everything.
Hmm.
And there's still things now to this day that like I overthink, and they won't even watch this because my family don't do that sort of thing. But like I'm going to a big family meal for my nephew's 18th on
Hmm.
Saturday, and I'm anxious about that. And I think, why am I anxious about it? It's my family, but I am anxious about it. I get anxious about stuff like that. Like I'm going to be in somebody else's house, and already I sit here like they're not adapted to me. My
Yeah.
house has got wide doors. My house has got, I can shuffle up my stairs.
Right.
I do that. So I'm used to doing that.
Hmm.
But their house isn't.
Right.
And it's things like that. Like even now, that's how I think.
Yep.
So as the week goes on, I try and block out that we're going. And then my wife
Right.
said to me, "Oh, we're outside." I'm like, "Where are we sat there?" She's like, "Your brothers," and I'm like,
Right.
"Oh yeah." But like I
So
already
overall, don't
know
be
that.
scared. Charge ahead.
Yeah, and I already know that that house isn't suitable for me,
Yeah.
but I'll go in, I'll just probably get on their sofa and they can push the chair out the way until I need it.
Right.
But it's so
Right.
it's like stuff like that that makes everything. Oh, we went to a restaurant after the Arnold's
Hmm.
and my back was hurting. I was just tired. And there was quite a few of us. I think there was like 6 or 7 of us. And we went to a Thai street food place, a Vietnamese street food. It was beautiful. The food was amazing. And there was me and Ben in wheelchairs. And the lady said, "Do you want to sit in the booth?" So everyone sat in a booth. And I said, "Oh, can I sit on there just to be a little bit, just in a different seating position?"
Hmm.
And as I transferred onto it, she went, "I'll have to put your wheelchair outside." And I looked at her and I went, "No." And
Right.
she went, "It'll be in the way of the walkway, mate. This walkway was massive." I was like,
Right.
"It's not even in your way." I
Yeah.
said, "So if I sit in my wheelchair there, I'm okay." She went, "Yeah." And I said, "But you can't leave my wheelchair there without me sitting in it." She went, "No." I was like, "You're not taking it outside." She wanted to take it outside the restaurant and leave it outside.
Oh no, that's crazy.
I was just like, "No." I said, "One,
Yeah.
if I need the toilet, I need to go. Like I'm not like I've
Right.
got to go."
Yep.
And I was just, and someone else come over and apologized for what she said. And
Oh
then
sure.
obviously by this time I was already back in the chair and I just sat where I could be in my chair. And
Yeah.
someone else come over and went, "You can sit on there if you want." And I was like, "I'm all right. Just bring me some
Yeah.
food."
I've
So
encountered
yeah,
that same thing because my wheelchair sits up a little too high to get
yeah,
under the chair because
yes, yeah,
long legs and all that. So in order to sit on the same level, I try to transfer into the booth or whatever if there's chairs or what have you. Can we do something with your chair? Nope. It's going to have to sit right here
yeah.
because I had to go to the bathroom.
Exactly.
And yeah,
I think they will never really understand. Like when you've got to go,
right.
you've got to go.
Yeah. I'm not
Like,
trying to ask permission from the wait
yeah,
staff. Can
exactly
I
that.
please go to the bathroom? Can I please have my wheelchair?
Yeah, exactly that. Like, you're
Yeah.
literally taking the one thing I need in my
Yeah.
life. You're
That's right.
taking that away from me. Like, I will embarrass you and crawl along your floor.
So even in those encounters, I mean, it ain't nothing to be scared of because at the end of the day, everybody's going to look at you. You're always going to be an inconvenience to the walker. And as long as you can get that out of your head that it doesn't matter, you're in good shape.
Exactly. To be honest, I mean, I've got a good mentality about it. I take the mickey out of
Oh,
myself a
yeah.
lot. I've
Right.
got 3 brothers, you know,
Mm-hmm.
so, and I work with predominantly men. In fact, I
Right.
work with one female. So,
Gotcha.
we've got a team of 20 guys,
Mm-hmm.
and I've always been in that. I think that's from the army as well. if you can't laugh at yourself, even in bad situations,
That's right.
and I probably do get myself in trouble a lot.
A
I
man
take the
who can
mickey
laugh
out.
at himself always has something to laugh at.
Exactly. I've done very well not to swear in this, and I don't know how you
Right.
stand on swearing, so I haven't.
Uh,
I swear a lot, like a
yeah.
lot. I swore in my interview
Right.
after the show.
Right.
If you watch the interview after the show, I do
Uh-huh.
swear, and I'm just like, I looked at him and I was like, I'm so sorry, but I swear a
Yeah, I
lot.
hadn't caught
I
that
take
one
the
yet.
mick out of everything, every situation, and everybody because
Right.
I'm in a bad situation, and if I don't laugh about it, and if I can't allow you to laugh about it, then
Sure. Right.
what are we doing? Like I will,
Yeah.
if you, it's like you go and see a comedian, right, and you laugh at everything he tells a joke about,
Mhm.
but then he tells a joke about someone in a wheelchair, and I get offended. Can't, can you?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
No,
That's it.
nothing offends me. I'm very, very difficult to offend. I
Nice.
offend a lot of people.
Yeah, I think that I probably have been a little more offensive than offended myself.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
that's easy
nothing.
to do. It's easy to do because
Yeah,
again,
because people
like you
take
said,
offence,
potty
right?
mouth, etc. Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
People get mad for other people around here. Like you're getting
exactly.
mad for somebody else. Like
Yeah,
it doesn't even have anything to do with you or your kind.
exactly that. No, I'm the same, man. I do get myself in trouble a lot, but I joke about,
Oh
and you
yeah,
got
yeah.
to. So that's what I would say to anyone who's recently come into this injury and they now
Mhm.
need a wheelchair, or just their life is affected
Right.
in a different way to what it was.
Hmm.
Just be happy because you're here,
Right. Look
you're
on the bright
alive, you're
side.
present. People, like you said, you're going to be an inconvenience, but they're going to be an inconvenience to you.
Hmm.
Like, turn it around. That's what I know I'm an inconvenience to everybody,
Right.
but
Right.
my God, are you an inconvenience to me?
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh man, just really quick. Like I was riding around like the Firefly thing, like the attachment for the wheelchair at the
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
Arnold
yeah.
Expo, literally running people over, and people were apologizing to me for running them over.
But see, this is what makes me laugh. I remember when I was a long time ago before my injury, and like I wasn't in bad shape, but I was still very
Mhm.
heavily tattooed. And over here, we've got like a posh supermarket, if you like, called Waitrose, and you go
Mhm.
to it if you've got a bit of money. And I don't have a bit of money, but I had just come from the gym. I just wanted to grab something, so I
Mhm.
ran in there quickly. And all I had, it was summer. All I had on was a stringer vest. And this old lady looked at me, tutted, shook her head, and went, "Ugh." And I thought that is a good way. But now these same people hold doors open for me.
Right.
They'll
Right.
ask me if I want help. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you are the same people that tutted at me and thought I was disgusting. But now, like,
Yeah.
I, and I'll take it. Like, I know you get people that
Sure.
don't. You get
Yeah.
people that are
Yeah.
like, no, I've got that. And don't get me wrong,
Right.
if someone's getting up to get a door for me, I won't. But if they're holding the door for me because they've gone through it,
Sure.
regardless wheelchair or not, you should have held that door
Yeah.
open anyway.
Oh yeah.
So
Right.
for me, like people do a lot more for me, or they'll offer a lot more help for me.
Right.
And I don't always want it, but I will happily take it.
That's right. That's right. That's right. You can't take away somebody's blessing they're trying to give to you.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah,
So
massively. I
right
don't want a
on.
pity party, but I will happily take one.
That's right. That's right. If it makes you happy to pity me, then be happy.
Exactly. I will not take that away from you, and I will
That's
soak
right.
up everything about it. It's like
That's
I
right.
know I will just sit on the sofa all night Saturday, and I know
Mhm.
everybody will just go and get me a drink, and I will happily accept that. I ain't
No
got to
doubt.
move.
All
But
right. Well,
yeah,
Nick,
so
man, I appreciate you talking to me today, man. Like, we went a little over our, my normal time, but that doesn't matter. I'm not on a time constraint. Like, and if somebody doesn't want to watch it because it's too long, then that's on them as far as I'm concerned.
yeah, people will watch what they want to watch, won't they?
That's right. That's right. So I just hope that the right person gets to see the right person.
They will. They definitely will. We'll have to get you on to one with Paul and everyone. We'll get one together.
Right. Yeah,
One
sounds
day, just
good.
have quite a few of us on there, because I've said to them for ages we'll try and get one together, but we just never really got around to it. Like I used to do the wheelchair one with the pros every Sunday, and
Yeah.
that just kind of died off, or whatever. People are busy, or it's the same 3 or
Oh
4
yeah.
people
Yeah.
on it all the time.
Right.
So we're just we'll get together and we'll hook
Yeah.
up on.
Yeah. I mean, you guys have a lot of strong men over there too that are like wheelchair
Yeah, we have.
competitors, and
We have got a decent lineup for they're not all wheelchair. It's like a mixed disability
mix. Yeah.
strongman.
Gotcha.
But we have actually got the world's strongest disabled man.
Yeah.
Sitting bull.
Sitting bull.
Dave, his name is.
UK sitting bull, I think is his
That's
Insta
it.
handle.
Yeah, real nice guy. Strong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those guys are great, man. So
Definitely have a
yeah.
chat with him.
So if we can, we'll get something together. Like I was thinking about trying to talk to Paul here, sometime, but I'm kind of got a roster in my mind that I'm working on and working out, and then the episodes just trickle out, so it's going to be a few weeks before this one's up and whatnot. So.
Yeah, definitely. But and James, get James on.
Okay, right on. Talking
James
about
is always a good, and he's going to have a film coming out. Yeah, and he's going to have a film coming out soon.
Okay, wow.
Pretty sure. I don't know. He was talking about it ages ago.
It seems like I remember him saying something about it in one of because I watched all the podcasts. Like
yeah.
Like these are my guys here.
Exactly. We'll have to get you on it one day as well. When we get it back, I don't know what's going on with it.
Yeah.
I'll speak to the boys and just see if we were meant to do one between the Arnolds, and that never happened. Because we like to talk about shock factors, and obviously the Arnold's US was a big shock to everyone.
Oh yeah.
No one saw it coming. And we always go over our top 5. What's your top 5? And it's always Harold and Gabe and Carell and
but now it's looking a little different.
Which is brilliant. I love it.
Me too.
I love how much our category's grown.
Yeah.
And hopefully it continues to do so. And because the more it grows,
I want to see the guys on the main stage, because at the Arnold here in the United States, they hit the expo stage, but they, for their prejudge and final. Whereas
that's exactly what we done here.
The other shows do the other classes like classic and all that. They might do something at the expo down there, but then they have their final on the big stage.
Yeah. So,
but the amateurs get to compete on the big stage to begin with.
Yeah. Well,
and that's
2022. We done prejudging on the main stage at 2:00 in the afternoon, and then we had the finals on the main stage at 7:00 at night. Very different atmosphere, same stage, very different.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it, to be honest. I was blown away, absolutely mental. 3,500 people. I was just like, I'm not ready for this.
Yeah.
But yeah, this time round it was prejudging and finals all in one on the expo stage. But they did do every category on the expo stage for their prejudging.
Yeah.
So, we still shared the stage, unfortunately, and it was streamed, live stream.
Yeah. Right on.
So I
watched the live stream. Like I didn't watch it live because I think y'all were on it like
10:00 in the morning.
It was early here. I wasn't even up yet. So
I wasn't prepared for it. I loved the idea of it. I wasn't prepared for it.
Right.
I've never got ready for a show early. The earliest I've ever been on stage was 2:00 in the afternoon. I didn't even know about that. Nick Scott saw me about 1:30 and said, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Chilling out. I'm not on stage till 7." He's like, "You got prejudging in half an hour." I was like, "No one's told me any of this." So then I've got to go and eat and peak ready for that. But that was all. But this time round was just a different level. I tried to peak the same way as I normally would. And it went very horribly wrong. Like not the way I looked. Nothing was going to change that. The way I felt very, very ill on stage. I thought I was going to pass out. I felt like I was going to. I don't think you can see it, but when Gabe comes on, I'm tapping Nick Scott on the shoulder to get a bottle of water off him because I was genuinely going to throw up.
Gotcha. Yeah, I could see it in your face, like you weren't really firing on all cylinders there.
I tell you what it was. We went up in a lift, started going on, and I was like, I don't feel great. Like, I don't feel. And it wasn't a nervous thing because weirdly, I'm not nervous. I'm not a nervous person. I think this is the best package I've got currently.
Yeah.
Nothing is going to change that. It is what it is.
Right.
And I know I'm second. So it weren't a nervous thing. It was, I think, everything I ate, and then I ate again, and then I had a pre-workout with whiskey in it. And a vegan replacement of honey, and some jam. And I just think that just didn't settle well at all.
It doesn't sound like a good combination.
Do you know what? Last time it was phenomenal. Veins popped out everywhere. This time round, I think because we had such a little time frame, to pump up and do that and pump up, and because the doors didn't open, we couldn't get in there early. Like we got in at 9, and then I had to go and find out where everything was, get my wife a seat, wait for other people to come in, so everyone was sitting together, and they weren't. In the end, we had half of the people on this side of the stage, half the people over this side of the stage, because the official door opening time was 10 o'clock.
Right.
And the way in for me was go into the expo, turn right through the shutter doors, but everybody else had to go into the NEC. All the way up the stairs, all the way to the very, very back, then turn right, get in the queue, get in, run through that whole hall, go down the stairs in the hall, turn left, and then run to the end. So when I'm trying to explain where are we, it's just like, just go in and turn right. But they can't because they're not in wheelchairs. And I can't get down the steps that are in there. Everything is outside. That's why we could go in that way. So when the people are like, we can't find you, and I'm like, it's easy.
Right. Piece of cake.
But it was a lot of rushing about. And it was, don't get me wrong, 10:30, I'm done. I'm like, I'll chill out now. And then I lost my wife for ages. Couldn't phone her because she had my phone. But I wouldn't change anything about it. I'm happy with how I looked considering what I went through for 8 weeks of my program. The aim was just, I probably didn't look as lean as I did last time, but I wasn't as fat as I thought I was going to be.
I guess you have to take the victories where you can, right?
Exactly. And do you know what? If Oscar come, I think I would have given him a good battle. And if Anad come, I think I would have given him a good battle. Gabe was winning that trophy from day one. Gabe's phenomenal, great athlete. Nothing but respect for Gabe. I love him to bits.
Oh yeah. Did you see the talk I had with him?
Yes, yeah. He's such a lovely guy.
Dude's great.
And he always says
he's great, man.
He always says, excuse his English, it's not great. And you're like, mate, you speak very good English.
Right, you're doing wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he plays the piano as well. And I'm like, is there anything you can't do?
Right.
But it's a good
I didn't even know that, but he had worked for Versace and all kind of stuff, or he worked for a leather company that did work for Versace and other companies and all kind of stuff. Just really cool.
Mad, isn't it? That's what's beautiful about these podcasts is you find out about people's lives. People see us and they see wheelchair bodybuilders. Right. They don't see our life before.
No.
So it's nice. It's a nice little touch to have this, and have that chat about it and talk about what you've done before. And, I'm sure there's people out there who don't think their lives are better. I'm not one of them. I genuinely love my life. Man,
there's a lot of doom and gloomers.
And do you know what? I saw it in the army as well. Like I was in the infantry. Oh, yeah. We had, and it was a very busy period. It was 2007, 2011. So very busy period for British and American Army.
Right.
And we had people obviously lose limbs and got shot or blown up and didn't come back quite the same. And I think the army taught me a lot in the sense of that's your life now. You can go this way or you can go this way.
Right.
And I've seen both. I've seen fully grown men absolutely hate their new life. And I've seen fully grown men absolutely love their new life. And, you know, there's that period, that sticky period in the middle where you're, what's happening? I've got to get used to it. And yeah, everything does take, I mean, I still get used to things now. There's certain things in life I would never get used to. Like, how have you not got disabled access? Like, I would never not get used to it.
Right.
You know, and there's certain things in life.
Or better yet, like, why do they have able-bodied people design everything that's supposed to be for the handicap?
Do you know what? So we went out for a meal. We went out for a meal last weekend before, and we went to this Indian street food place. On the website, it says accessible. Okay, brilliant. Get there. 3 steps to get in. Right? Okay, that's not accessible. So, and a doorbell. Push the doorbell. Sat there waiting. Push the doorbell again. Sat there waiting. My wife went in. Bearing in mind it's 3 steps, and they can see me. Like, they are there. They can see me. 15 minutes and 4 doorbell rings I sat there for them to bring out a metal ramp. Okay. So then this metal ramp, I got in and I said, so I'm not overly happy. I sat there for 15 minutes. If it was raining, this would be a very different conversation. Right. And the one thing I really hate, I understand how you feel. No, you don't. No, you don't, because you was in the warm. Right. I understand how you feel, but I didn't hear the doorbell. Okay. Well, I understand how you feel, but that is not my issue. Get another system. So now we're on this restaurant floor. And I said, I need a loo. They're up the stairs. Of course they are. Your disabled toilet is up the stairs. Yeah. Well, have you got a lift? No. Okay. I said, don't worry. I'll just get to my table. Your table's up the stairs. Right. My email or my request when I booked this 6 weeks ago clearly specifies one wheelchair user. Like, what are you doing? Why would you then put me up 3 steps to get in and another 5 steps to my table and to your disabled? Anyway, cut a long story short, it took 30% off the bill. Didn't talk to me the whole meal. I was fuming the whole meal because they had to bring the same metal ramp from the door, drag it across the whole restaurant. Like you said earlier, we're an inconvenience. We get looked at enough. Yeah. And I just felt uncomfortable. And then he put this ramp and it was like that. Yeah. So I couldn't even get out of the ramp myself. My wife had to help me out the ramp. He said, do you want a hand? I said, no. I said, she'll help me. I don't want you to help me. Coming down it, I said to him, that's not accessible, mate. I said, someone's really going to hurt themselves one day coming down that ramp. If their cast wheels just dig in, they're coming out. If they don't dig in and they can't stop themselves, they're hitting the table in front. So anyway, the company contacted me after and they refunded me my whole bill.
Oh, man. Well, that's nice.
Yeah, they have now taken off the website. Off the website, it doesn't say accessible anymore. Yeah. And he said, I'll refund you your bill because I don't suppose you want to come in for a free meal. I said, no. I said, not until you sort it out. So they are sorting out. They're putting a lift in. Oh, nice. So nice. Just off the back of that. But you're absolutely right. I said to him, don't be that restaurant that an able-bodied person's gone, that'll do. And you've ticked it. I said, do not be that company. Right. I said, how will you ever have I said, get a wheelchair guy just to come in and go, I can't get up there. Or I can.
No doubt.
Do you know what I mean? It ain't hard. Pay me, I'll do it.
Yeah, right. That's the job that I'd love to have, is going and busting places that claim to be accessible and ain't, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, it's driving
me all right.
But what can you do?
But I guess unless somebody that has to use a wheelchair encounters it, these people don't even understand. So they don't. Which that's why it's important too to get out and do stuff so that you can go out and you know, basically beat your head against the wall at these places that you can't get into until you can. Yeah.
I had we went to Manchester for the British finals, the UK British finals, and I gave out a pro card there. It was brilliant, great day. And we went to a Thai restaurant, got a stair lift. It was broken. Now, I really wanted a Thai. And I just said to the guy, I said, look, don't worry. Have you got two strong guys? And they looked at me and I was like, just carry me up. So they did. They carried me up, and they took 50% off our bill as well. And I hadn't asked for that. I had no intention of even moaning at their stair. They'd done everything they could. They had the stair lift. It was broke.
Right.
And it was reported. They're waiting to get it fixed. You know, and we just happened to go past and said, oh, can you get a table for two? And they're like, our stair lift's broke. And I was like, I want this. It's a really nice restaurant. I love Thai food.
Right.
Come and pick me up. So I just said, you know, and I didn't mind. And then, as I say, they took 50% off the bill and hadn't asked for any discount whatsoever. I didn't say, oh, your stair lift's broke. Can I get a discount? They'd just done that. And I was like, don't let them go home until they've carried me down. But, you know, you know, they've done everything they can possibly do about being inaccessible.
Sure.
Unfortunately, the lift broke.
Yeah.
So
that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
I see Brad fights with his it seems like he fights with his apartment complex all the time about their lift.
Brad?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know how he gets up and down the stairs. There's a lot of stairs. I wouldn't even try.
Right.
Because he does it in his chair as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think so. A few of these guys are able to go up and down in stairs. I don't know. I don't have the Brad. Like I tried it one time, and it did not turn out very well. You know, like I tried to back down the stairs and shit. And hey, I made it down the stairs a lot faster than I wanted to go too.
How I did the cliff.
Yeah. So it was then I decided that me and stairs were mortal enemies at this point.
Yeah, no. If I have literally got no other option, I'm shuffling down, and the chair's coming down step by step behind me.
Yeah.
If I've got no other option.
They call that the baby bump, is what we call it.
Yeah, I see you do it the other day.
Stairs.
Yeah. But we've done it for hundreds of years, right?
Oh yeah, right. Shit, man. Like I have no issues with I will get into a place if I want to get into it. It's as simple as that. And if I don't, then I won't. You know, like if it's too much, if it's too much trouble for me that day, so be it. You know, that's just the way that day is. So, right on, man. Well, got some stuff to do around the house now, but man, it's great talking with you, dude. Like, thanks.
Yeah, we'll do it again. 100% we'll do it again. And I'm sorry, I had to cancel the last one.
Absolutely. So, oh yeah, no problem, man. That's just how it goes. You know, life comes up. I ain't worried about that. So, right on, man. So we'll get together here soon with everybody. You know, see what happens.
Yeah, 100%. It'd be good. It'd definitely be good.
All right, man. Take it easy. We'll holler at you.
Cool. Have a good one, man. See you soon.